All right, we're live. Woo!
You got to do that anytime it goes live. It's just like a natural thing. Anytime I see record or live, I do that just in case.
Yeah.
Side rolls, side rolls,
Side rolls, middle
front
rolls.
rolls.
They say that it comes natural, right? All right. So yeah, it's a great day. Starting the first episode of the Road to ETHMiami. It's a very exciting time because actually that's the very first Miami hackathon. We've done one event this April. It was like 400 people. Two of them, 200 probably was hackers. But this time we're doing something more special. It's going to be only hackathon, and we're going to be doing so many cool building things, announcing many great speakers, and I think we've got the one. And Austin, thank you for joining, and of course Kevin, for what you've done for the Solidity education with Growick. That's also glad to have you here. um, I think we should start this episode with just a quick introduction to the actual ETHMiami event. I'll just probably spend like a couple of minutes just sharing the screen, my screen with the ETHMiami.net website. So you guys let me know if you can see it clearly here. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
We got it.
So basically, this event that we're going to be doing, it's a sick event. We have a lineup coming up great, and it's not only speakers, but we have a lot of interest from Miami community and from all over the world. I'm getting like 10 calls every day. So it's November 26th to November 30th. It's going to be in Miami. We This time we're doing only IRL Web3 IRL hackathon. So there's going to be no virtual. It's going to be only IRL for the purpose of connecting Miami community and the community from the outside, all the Ethereum enthusiasts in Miami during that time. This is going to be a very interesting time. It's Art Basel time, so all the world coming to Miami for this Art Basel Creative Art Festival, and I think it's going to be very nice time to be actually in Miami to experience Miami vibes and just Miami culture and what Miami has to offer. We have only 53 days left, and I think that's worth mentioning. So we're not only doing the hackathon itself, we're doing hack preparation, which actually the registration ends today. So it's October 3rd to November 26th. It's Growick Solidity, which is pretty much instructor-led Scaffold-eth and Speedrun Ethereum, which Kevin leads. And we already have like 200 people registered. So I think this is going to be a very hard time for us to keep up with all these applicants. But I think that we're going to have a good job in getting all these people, or we'll try to get most of them to the actual physical hackathon in Miami. And of course, after that, it's 3 days of just building. This is what we are focusing on: just building, shipping products, showing it to the judges, winning prizes. That's all about, building and getting closer to this final stage, presenting and getting prizes. The final day is November 30th. That's where the demonstration, awards, and party will be, and then it switches to Art Basel, which is going to be even more crazy. So I think that's pretty much it. Is that we're going to be focusing on these 6 tracks: is public goods, DeFi, NFTs, DAO, metaverse, which is gaming pretty much, and infrastructure. And that's the major 6 tracks that we're going to be building the project around. We still have some proposals. We probably might add some tracks, maybe 1 or 2, but I think those are the 6 major ones. So those are our speakers and partners as well. As you can see the video of the actual place. This is a very nice, revitalizing place in Miami. Whenever you have a chance, you can watch the video. And this is the actual venue and the address. So you can book your flight tickets, Airbnbs, and whatever is there. So that's kind of my spiel. I just want to invite everyone, and I think that's going to be the event for us, especially for Miami community, for all this education, scaffold, speedrun, Ethereum, growth, Solidity education that we do. and we also do a lot of education in the actual neighborhoods of Miami, bringing this free Solidity education to the public. So we're gonna have probably on the next episode the actual person who is really doing a great job there. His name is Dan Trail. So he's in charge of Web3 initiative in Miami-Dade College, and he's really pushing these free education opportunities to Miami community. And I just want to thank you, Austin, for all this Scaffold and speedrun Ethereum that you given. You don't probably like you. I'm sure you realize that how much of impact to those people you do when they just go and find out about Growick, Solidity, Scaffold-eth, and pretty much getting this off the ground and building their products in a matter of weeks or like very like short months. So thank you for that, and of course, Kevin, for everything you do for education in our community, because you've been great for all these months, and I guess many more to come. With that, I just want to hand off to you guys. You take the stage over, and let's do it.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for having us.
So I'll just do a quick intro. So yeah, my name's Kevin Jones, a lead mentor at Growick. I also work full-time for NGINX, a Web 2.0 company, but very involved in the Web3 space and super stoked to be here. Austin, why don't you introduce yourself and kind of tell people how you got to where you're at now?
Yeah, I'm Austin Griffith. I am a builder on Ethereum. I helped make Scaffold-eth, and kind of around that was the Build Guild, and around that kind of came out Speedrun Ethereum, and we'll talk about some of the other products today. But my goal is educating developers, onboarding developers, making sure that when a traditional developer wants to learn about Ethereum, it's complicated and interesting, and hopefully it's not too complicated, and they can get in and figure it out, and they have the right tools and education to do that. And I think we'll talk about some of those products here. Maybe we could transition to Scaffold-eth or something next. Do we share a screen, or what's the best way to show off here?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's probably best, maybe you can kind of give a run through of what Scaffold-eth, where people can find it, talk a little bit about, maybe speedrun Ethereum and kind of some of the ways that you could get started building on Scaffold-eth really quickly.
Awesome.
You have sharing rights?
Yeah, let me do the share thing. We should have done this earlier, but we'll figure it out. It's right here, right? Can I share that with you, Andre? And could you make it there we go. Look at that. Okay, awesome. So sweet. Yeah, let's start with Scaffold-eth, right? So like we said earlier, getting into the space is complicated. There's a lot to learn. We're taking a bet with Scaffold-eth that the best way to teach you is to have you do some Solidity first. Basically get you to the tinkering with smart contracts phase first, and then kind of work you out of the onion and kind of explain all the different layers of abstraction. But basically starting with this moment where you can tinker with Solidity and you can see it in the front end. And then that's kind of also becomes a tool that you can use to build. And we'll get in and talk about some more curriculum and everything first. And then maybe we could, after that, maybe we could make a few changes to the smart contract and see some stuff. But from a high level, Scaffold-eth is a good way to just get started and start tinkering. And the best way to get started with all of that is speedrunethereum.com. What we're talking about today is kind of like Growick's lead up to ETHMiami and this road to ETHMiami. So this is kind of like a layer on top of all of this stuff. So all of the stuff that I'm explaining is sort of like a async and free and open source curriculum that you can use to learn. And then everything else that we're talking about with Growick and with ETHMiami and the road to ETHMiami is sort of this kind of like mentor-led experience around all the other stuff. So I'm going to explain the async free stuff, and then Kevin, you can explain kind of the layer around that. And then I don't know if we'll build something together or what we'll do. We'll see how much time we have left here.
Let's get creative.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's fun. We usually do like dueling keyboards, right? Maybe you could deploy something to Gorley and I could attack it. We've done that before. We'll see if we have enough time for that. But in terms of this async education, if you want to learn from home asynchronously, and you don't need any mentorship, you can kind of run with this by yourself. If you need the extra helping hand, you need the mentorship, you need the extra push, then look to ETHMiami, look to the Road to ETHMiami, look to the Growic curriculum, which kind of wraps this stuff with more mentorship and more help. But what you'll do is you just go to speedrunethereum.com, and you like I said, you'll learn this by bringing up Scaffold-eth and tinkering. If you get to this point and you feel overwhelmed, we do have there's an intro video here that kind of talks you through how to use it. And there's also a whole playlist here, this Web 2 to Web 3, that goes into detail very slowly about setting up a wallet, becoming a power user, becoming a scripter, and then eventually becoming a smart contract dev. 14, 15 hours of video you can do asynchronously. All of that kind of comes with this kind of as an introduction to Speedrun Ethereum. But the heart of it, the very heart of everything, is grab Scaffold-eth and learn how to tinker. Go learn these concepts. You'll learn the syntax of Solidity very quickly. If you're a decent programmer, the syntax is going to be something that you can pick up right away. And then you can kind of go and get better and kind of take on these challenges. Get to the point where you can tinker with Solidity, and we'll kind of talk about that here in a second. And then go through each one of these challenges. And these challenges are going to be built so they teach you a lot of lessons that are important to learn. In particular, this first challenge, you're building a staking app. And this staking app really shows off how Ethereum empowers you as the builder to write a few simple set of rules, and how those set of rules kind of exist and can help people that don't necessarily trust each other. It can help them coordinate towards some shared goal. And that's really one of the superpowers of Ethereum is allowing you, the builder, to create these hyperstructures that, can be used and are unstoppable and can be totally agnostic and incredibly neutral, and have fees built in that help them be expansive. There's a lot of buzzwords there, and it's hard to dance around the buzzwords. Sometimes you just got to drop them. But but with Speedrun Ethereum, you're going to have the intro to Scaffold-eth. There's the curriculum there if you want to go through it slower, but then take on these challenges and get going, just building. You just need to write some code, and these aren't going to hold your hand at that moment when you need to write the smart contract. You're going to get to the point where the smart contract is here and the cursor is flashing, and you're going to have to think for yourself, and you're going to have to build the thing. And that's an important lesson learning here. And hopefully you can kind of tinker around with Scaffold-eth and Solidity and be able to jump in and build this stuff pretty quickly. And then long ways down the road here, as you get better at building a DEX and a multi-sig, you can become eligible to join the Build Guild. And the Build Guild is just this extra incentivization layer for builders that are building with Scaffold-eth, have gone through Speedrun Ethereum. If you want to get into Build Guild, you go through Speedrun Ethereum. And they're just building products and prototypes and educational content for the ecosystem. And the Build Guild streams ETH to them to do that. So kind of rolling all the way back, I feel like we should probably tinker with some Solidity. We should really show that core center of the onion thing. What do you think, Kevin? Am I mansplaining too much, or should we dive into some Solidity?
No, let's just dive in and see. I think some people here probably are excited to get started on Ethereum. So I think it's a good thing to kind of show them how they can kind of get their hands dirty, right?
Awesome. Okay, so if you pull down Scaffold-eth, you'll get this as the kind of template smart contract. There's a string, and nothing happens in the constructor. And there's this one main function that lets you set the purpose, whatever this purpose string is. It's sort of like the greeter app. I remember when I first got into Ethereum, there's a greeter app. You find that in a lot of places. This is very similar. It's basically letting you pass in a string, and then it's setting that storage location for that purpose. It's updating it. Then it does a console log, which is kind of like a fancy thing that Hardhat does to help us debug. And then it emits an event, and you'll learn about events and all of that stuff. But let's tinker real quick. Let's just look at this set purpose function, and let's see how it updates the purpose. And let's go see it work first, right? So if I just go ahead and do a deploy, this is kind of the loop you're going to get into. You'll make a small change to your contract. then you'll deploy it with yarn deploy, and then you can tinker with it over here. So I have an account. I've already loaded it up with money from the faucet, but I should be able to say hello world here, and we should be able to call this set purpose function on our smart contract and update that purpose. So there's step one. Now let's just start tinkering with this and start adding some things. So when you get started with Speedrun Ethereum, it has this list of things to learn. I guess I'm gonna work backwards from this. I want to look at payable functions first. I want to tinker with what it means to make a function payable, just to show you how Scaffold-eth auto adapts and lets you kind of make small changes and see those. So let's take this set purpose function and let's make it payable, right? And so that's going to give us access to a new variable. It's going to send and they paid, right? And we can say message.value, right? And if I save that and go ahead and ship it, let's see if that works. Oops. What's it not letting me do? I must have done something. Oh, darn. I can't do it like that. Let's see. You have to like mix the, here. Let's do it this way. Let's do something like a second console log that says, and they paid, and then some message.value. Oh, there was even way. I like that. All right. Nice. Copilot, fill it in. Hey, that works too. Okay, so now you'll see that the set purpose function has this new form. It has this new thing in the form that's transaction value. And if we say hello world, and we send in some arbitrary amount of ETH, there's no rules written yet. It's just a payable function. We're going to send in 0.001 ETH. We'll see over here that there's a console log that says, 6AB, that's our account, set the purpose to hello world, and they paid some amount of way, right? Okay, so we've made this function payable, and we're accepting money now, and that gives us access to this new message.value. Let's write our first rule. A lot of smart contracts are about creating incentives and rules, and we should talk about the cron job in a second if I don't forget. But let's write our first rule, and that's a require statement. And what we're going to require is that the message.value, look, it just wants to fill it in for me. We'll take it. The message.value needs to be greater than or equal to, we'll say 0.0. I'm going to say 0.001. I'm going to make it extra cheap. And then say you need to pay at least 0.001 ETH, or it's going to fail, right? And we're just iterating here. We're making small changes to our Solidity. We're deploying it, and then we're getting a new contract over here that we can tinker with. So let's try hello world, and let's try sending in $0 now, right? It should yell at us and say you need to pay at least 0.001 ETH. So if we pay our 0.001 ETH, and you'll notice here, this is built for developers, and we're forcing you as developers to click this button and take it times 10 to the 18. And you'll learn the difference between ETH and Way as you get in. TLDR, the EVM is a simple machine and doesn't want to mess around with floating point math. So we do this extra step where we take everything to Way, which is a very, very small number. And we have some offset of decimals that we just multiply and divide each time. But there is the amount in Way, and we're going to go ahead and pay that. And it worked. And we should see that worked. So now we have this function that allows people to pay. And we have a require statement that only lets them get, to the next line if they happen to pay enough money. So we basically just built this little vending machine, right? This nice little vending machine that lets people pay in to set the value. Let's tinker around with this a little bit more. Just one other thing, and let's create a UNT 256. So we're going to track another number, and we'll make it public, and we'll call it price. And we'll set it equal to this 0.01 ether, right? And then we'll make sure that they pay at least the price. And then we're going to do something really interesting. We're going to say price equals price times 2 or something like that, right? We're just going to double the price every time for some reason, right? And we deploy it, and let's go tinker with it and see if this works. And so we should now be able to see the price, right? I can copy this price, and I can paste it in there, and I can say hello 1. And I can go ahead. Oh, nope, don't want to do that. I want to do.
Don't do that.
I'm just so much trained in the mode to hit that button. Okay, there we go. So there's hello 1, but you'll notice now the price has gone up. If I try to say hello 2 and only pay that old amount of price, it's going to tell me that I need to. Oh, it actually, yeah, this message doesn't work anymore, right? Let's just say not enough because the price is variable, right? So now if we pay that second amount and we hit go, there we go, hello two. And you'll notice this price is now doubling. Man, this is expensive, right? Boom, send it. Okay, so you can see, hopefully, this is a great way to get started. You go to Scaffold-eth, Google Scaffold-eth, you'll find the repo here. You clone it down, you install it, you bring up the local chain, you do a start, you do a deploy, you have your chain, you have your front end, and then you have your deployer here. And then you just get into this mode where you make small changes to your smart contract, deploy it, and then tinker with it on the front end. And then it's like one extra step here if we want to actually put this thing public. I don't know if we'll get to that yet. We have lots of time here. We could do something interesting, but maybe we might want to pause here and maybe continue on with what to expect from Growick and ETHMiami. And then maybe we can come back and hack on something or deploy something if we have more time. How's that sound?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can do that. I was going to actually mention too that like a lot of what we did at Growick is we built the tuition around Scaffold-eth and around Speedrun Ethereum, and we also built it around Solidity by example. So that was another website that you can go to like kind of like, you know, it shows you like how to do different things, like how to do mappings or how to do, how to define certain kinds of variables, what the different kind of variables are. Yeah, and also each kind of like module or at least like section of Solidity by example also has like a video created by like smart contract programmer.
So awesome.
So which is so great, right? He kind of walks through it, really simple, real good use case examples. And so you'll also be going on here and kind of be grabbing and copy pasting from here into Scaffold-eth as well. But yeah, maybe you can let me share my screen and then I can kind of show like what the experience looks like for students who kind of want to get started.
I think Andre, I think you share your screen also and Andre switches us out. I think there's a kind of a man behind the curtains thing that has to happen in StreamYard. I don't think I need to stop sharing. I think you just need to start sharing and then he can bring you on stage or bring your screen up. Cool.
Andre, you there?
There we go. Whoa, maybe. Is that you?
Is this me?
There we go. That's
all
you.
Right, sweet.
Is this you? Is this thing on?
All right. So yeah. So if you're looking to kind of get more involved with ETHMiami, one of the first steps, especially if you're going to participate in a hackathon, is you probably want to get a little bit more up to speed, maybe, especially if it's like your first hackathon and you just want to kind of like sharpen your skills. So if you want to hack and you already kind of know Solidity and you think you're a decent hacker, you can simply go here to apply to hack. It's one of the first links on ETHMiami, and that will actually take you directly through to Gitcoin, and you can apply through them to hack. But if you want to become a student and you want to go through this 8-week tuition-free project-based instructor-led program, then you're going to want to click here to apply as student. And that's basically going to take you to growic.com. You'll see this nice little splash page with a video by me. It talks a little bit about the program. But again, so this whole concept for Growic is it's community-based. So when you come on here and you click apply as student, it's going to enter you into the program. You'll need to do it today. Today is definitely, I think, the deadline for that. And once you do that, you'll have access to the program. So the program is here. You'll see the program come up and you'll be able to kind of get in there. And one of the first things you'll see is the Discord server link, right? So you can pop in there, open up the Discord, and I'll just kind of show you what that looks like right now. When you join the Discord, it's a community of all the other developers that are coming together, along with the mentors, myself, that are going to be there to basically support you as you kind of go along on your journey. So my million Discord servers that I have here. But yeah, so inside here there's a separate channel for each of the cohorts. And then there's like kind of like a general chat. If you're a mentor, we have a mentor chat and stuff like that. There's peer support so that you can actually like team up with someone through peer support. So if you have like another person that you want to kind of like hold accountable for each other, that's a really cool way for you guys to kind of work together on projects and maybe even help each other out, set like a scheduled time where you guys can meet. We meet every week to answer questions and kind of walk you guys through some things, but it's just kind of a good way to kind of do community-based learning, right? And so, yeah, again, once you're enrolled in, you'll see that there's these sections and you can just expand the sections. So tomorrow we'll be doing the introduction to Solidity Developer, which I'm going to do basically step-by-step, getting you set up with Scaffold-eth step by step going through and doing some changes. We're going to build a dApp and deploy it and all this good stuff tomorrow as well. So once you enrolled, you'll get access to this. You'll get access to the calendar, stuff like that. And then you'll see here that we have Learning Solidity, which is basically like different modules, but then there's also tasks, right? So maybe there's like a task to like build something unique, and you'll have like 1, 2, or 3 different kind of things that you have to check off to make that task complete, and you'll submit that and get it approved. And then there's a quiz, which might be like a 10 or X amount of questions that you have to get right, and you need to get at least a certain percentage to pass the quiz. And you're going to go through this. This is going to teach you all the basics of Solidity, and then you're going to get to the butyl, right? The build, right? The part that is built around speedrun Ethereum and Austin's amazing curriculum. And we're going to have you go through these challenges. And again, we're going to be helping you from a support perspective, not only through Discord, but if you have questions, we're going to be meeting weekly, and you'll be able to kind of answer questions. There's also some extra challenges. So some of them are like required. You have to do the challenge. You have to submit it. Some of them are just kind of extra, like kind of extracurricular. So if you're one of those like amazing programmers and this is so easy for you, you won't get bored with the program as well. And then but what is really cool is the very last project is your final project. It's really whatever you want to do. And so it's going to line up perfectly with the hackathon, because by then you'll have gone through all the curriculum, you'll get to that challenge 7, and then you'll be able to kind of already be in a state of mind where you're like, all right, I want to build something cool on Ethereum that makes sense, that, given all this stuff that I've learned, and you're going to be able to do that final project with the hackathon. So yeah, great way to get going. And yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, you guys can come on the Discord server. And again, we're on there. We can help out. If you guys are having issues applying to the program for some reason, you can email solidity@growick.com, and they'll support you and help you get enrolled as well. So yeah, so let me stop sharing my screen here. And yeah, so what do you think we should do from here, Austin? You think we should maybe tinker a little bit more, or is there anything you wanted to kind of cover?
Yeah, let's just build something. Let's just build something silly and see if we can get it, because we kind of just have like 30 free minutes. We could tinker around and show something neat. Unless we need anything, I feel like we've already done our job. We've already showed off like everything that we're talking about, how to get started, how to get that extra bit of help. I think probably we need to remember to do one more call out at the end to sign up for the hackathon. If today is the last day, how can today be the last day? Holy cow.
Well, not for the hackathon, for the Solidity course. Today's the last.
Okay, this is the virtual Solidity course leading up to the hackathon. It's not the last day to sign up for the hackathon. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because the virtual thing like gets started momentarily, and so you might as well, you got to be signed up because it's got to get started. Okay, cool. So we talked about a cron job, and I really want to like lean into this because it's a fun thing just to get the mental model correct of building on Ethereum. In Web 2, in the traditional tech world, if you have a cron job, it's usually a task that needs to run periodically. In Web 3, our apps need to be fully decentralized. They need to be unstoppable. They need to be, you can't, if you build a smart contract correctly, even you, the deployer, shouldn't be able to take it down, right? It should be completely credibly neutral and no one can control it. So I was thinking maybe we could make a little check-in box, a little like cron jobby kind of thing. Andre, is it okay if you share my screen again? Can I throw my screen back on? Oh man, he's quick. Holy moly, look at it go. Okay, so while we were talking, I started working on some little stupid counter here. So I have a public count that I'm keeping track of, and then I have some last time that gets set to the block.timestamp as soon as the contract is deployed. I don't know what this is. It actually just filled it in. I created a check-in function. I'm gonna do this again. I went this far and it was like, okay, hey, you probably want this. And look, now it's different even, but I'm just going to go ahead and accept whatever is going on. Okay. So here's what it does. It makes sure that enough time, if more than a minute has passed, it sets the counter back to 1. If not, it increments the counter. So this would be a counter that you have to check into every minute or it resets. That's not what I want. I like what, I like having this co-pilot guessing here, but let's see. So what we want is we want to have something where people are checking in regularly. Maybe it's to rebalance a portfolio, or it's to calculate some interest on a periodic set. Basically, you need this task to run every night or something like that. And the key here is it's not just a service that runs. In Web3, you need to think about both setting the rules, writing the rules correctly in a contract that's unstoppable, but also creating incentives with those rules. And you have to have both those rules written correctly and those incentives to make this thing sort of unstoppable. So let's figure out a way to have a check-in system where someone is incentivized to check in every maybe minute. Let's go with that 60-second thing. So we're going to say, we're going to require, right? We're going to require that the time passed is greater than 60. I think I just say 60. Okay. And we'll say, yeah, look at that. You can only check in once per minute. Perfect. Okay. And let's just go test that real quick. Just that part. Let's go ahead. Oh, and we got to make sure we update our last time to block.timestamp when that happens. And let's not worry about minting yet or ERC20s or anything like that. But if you're tuned in close here, you'll notice that I've already brought in the ERC20 stuff while you were talking, Kevin, just so we have it.
Nice.
I want to have a token that's going to get generated here. I think that's a lot of fun. But let's make sure. Oh yeah, you can see that like now there's a whole bunch of stuff here now that I inherited that token. But the most important function is our check-in function, right? And that check-in function is right here. And if I click it, it's going to say you can only check in once per minute. And we're basically waiting for that minute to pass because the smart contract got deployed, and on deployment, it was set to some time. We could probably check that, right? Last time is probably set. There it is right there. So that's the last time. So now we're waiting for a minute later before we can check in for the first time. And I bet we're about there. Let's see. Let's go hit our check-in button again. Not quite yet. Maybe almost. I shouldn't have done 60 seconds.
You got to talk more.
Yeah. if we're trying to do a tight iteration loop, you might go for 15 seconds or 10 seconds. What I'm doing here is just like checking my assumptions here and making sure this works. There we go. It let me make the transaction. Okay. And if I try to make the transaction again, I'm back to you can only check in once per minute. So in that like very lazy way, I'm going to say that this is probably working and we can only check in here every 60 seconds. So I would say our rules are written correctly. The next thing we need is an incentive, right? Why would someone check in every minute, right? So in this case, we're going to inherit ERC20. So in Ethereum, almost everything is open source. Everything's on chain. Everything's public. Your code's out there. You can copy people like crazy. Things are super composable. Here we're inheriting the ERC20 token standard by just bringing in that one line there and this little bit here and this little bit here. We basically have created a token around the rest of the stuff that we're writing here. So along with this counter, this smart contract is actually a token also, and it's keeping track of balances that everybody has. I could set something up where we just mint, let's do that real quick. Let's mint this dude right here, a bunch of these tokens on deploy, just to double check that this is working the way we think. So then if we go over here and we check the balance of this dude, it should be that big number that we had there. Cool. Okay, so that is working, but that's not how we want it to work. What we want to do is every time you check in, we want to mint the message.sender some amount of tokens. Maybe just like one token. Maybe we'll just say 1 times 10 to the 18 token. You get one token every time you check in. Maybe we could have some penalty here. I don't know. You want to think about game theory. You want to think about behavioral stuff. You want to figure out how to get folks to do what you need the system to do, right? But in this case, we're going to write our rules correctly that say you can only check in once per minute. And then we're going to go ahead and incentivize that behavior by minting one of these tokens for anybody who checks in every minute. Let's go ahead and deploy that. Let's make sure it works. Oh, let's not do 60 seconds either. I'm going to do 6 seconds just to get it started, right? Actually, let's do this. Let's do this minus 60. So then it starts ready to go, right? That one little change that we made there makes it so it's going to start open and ready to go. So now when I go here and we go check in, there we go. And now if I check my balance, I should have 1, right? And I can't check in again yet, no matter how hard I try or what I pay. That's not going to work. It's going to have to wait until 60 seconds. And then when that 60 seconds comes in, I'll be able to check in again in a second. Okay, so let's see. There's probably some, let's even make, I kind of want to make a time passed function. It might be easier to read if we make a public view function that returns, yes, that that right there. Thank you. And then we'll just say, we'll check time passed, right? And then let's just go iterate on that real quick and make sure that works, make sure that's deployed. Go ahead and check in the first time, make sure it mints us one, make sure we can't check in again. Okay, I'm gonna say that works. All right, so let's say you spend months, weeks, days writing your app and you're ready to deploy it. Of course, I would spend some time on the front end, check out the example UI, make some buttons here so you don't have to like use this debug thing. But we're going quickly and we're kind of working with developers here, so I think I will probably just deploy this thing. So anything I need to add to this, you think, or is this basically doing what it needs to do? Should we add anything else here? What do you think?
No, I think that's cool. You know what I'll do is I can fund once you deploy it to testnet, I'll deploy it with my Punk wallet.
Okay, cool. That'd be great. Okay, so you want me to do a yarn generate.
Yeah.
So I'm going to generate a local mnemonic. And the way Scaffold-eth is set up is it's sort of like bringing in a whole big stack for you, and it's bringing in a get ignore and a lot of stuff that you need. So when we did this yarn generate, it's creating a mnemonic in the background, and it's putting that mnemonic in our folder structure, but it's also ignoring it. And it's a lot safer than creating mnemonics and moving them around willy-nilly, right? We just did a yarn generate, and for every project you should do a new yarn generate and have a fresh kind of burner deployer. But if I type yarn account here, then Kevin should be able to see this big old QR code for the C76 account. And if he has a Punk wallet on his phone, like I do here, what network are we going to go to? I like Gorley. What do you think about
Gorley? Let's do it. Yeah.
You got any Gorley?
I do. I got some.
Awesome.
I'm rich on Gorley.
Gorley rich, yeah. So here's my burner wallet if I can get it. There's my Punk wallet too. The nice thing about that is you can hit the scan button and you can scan a QR code, but you can also go to some app like Uniswap and you can launch the app and you can hit Wallet Connect. Let's see, if I log out of me and I log in as Wallet Connect, I can use my Punk wallet right here. And I can point it at that and I can log in as my Punk. Look how easy that was. I just logged in as my phone into Uniswap with a Punk wallet. Open source software written with Scaffold-eth. If you want to fork that, make your own wallet, go for it. That's what it's here for. So did you happen to send some Gorley to this dude?
Yeah, I just sent you 0.01. Let's see. I don't
awesome.
know if that's enough.
Okay, let's do a yarn deploy, and we'll do -- network is Gorley. If I can figure out how to spell it, please work first try. All right, this is looking good. This is looking good. Okay, so you have to make one other change, right? I spoke of earlier, you should probably spend some time working on your front end and your UI, and you'll get to your front end here in the React app section. But all I'm going to do is just get in here and point the entire app at Gorley. And that means anytime it sees any address or anytime it sees any, like now, if I reload here, this is going to link to Gorley instead. Oh, wait, do we deploy our contract?
There you go.
Let's see. It did deploy.
Yep, deployed.
And the app should be on Gorley. We should see it here. There it is. There it is. Okay, so now when I have an address and I click on that address, it's going to take me to the Gorley Etherscan. So just that one little change I made in the front end now points the entire app at the Gorley network. And we're live, right? And I'm going to get a yarn build going real quick, and we can get a live app going, and then anyone can get in here and start checking in. But let's go ahead now that, okay, so we didn't really talk very much about burner wallets within Scaffold-eth. Just like we have burner wallets on our phone, Scaffold-eth sets you up with a burner wallet. If I go to localhost 3000, you'll notice, it's kind of that yellow colored blocky. But if I create another one, then you'll get a,
Uh-oh, we lost him. Yeah, so I'll kind of continue on real quick and kind of show until he gets back on. Oh, Okay, you can see my screen. So yeah, you'll see basically like burner wallets are kind of like this additional kind of wallet that you have in the browser. So you could have MetaMask installed on your browser, and you could actually connect the app using this connect button, or you could connect with like a wallet on your phone. But there's actually the cool thing about Scaffold-eth is it has burner wallets built in. So you'll see right here that right when I went to my app, I can instantly get access to a private key and a public key that's embedded inside the browser, and I can just grab some funds from the wallet. But when you're deploying your application, to a public blockchain, are you back?
I'm back. Sorry about that.
Okay, cool. No worries. Yeah. All right, cool. I'll let you take back the share.
I better share my screen then.
I was explaining burner wallets, but yeah, basically burner wallets are this kind of concept inside the browser. But when you get onto a test net, you need to use probably funds that are on some more of a controlled private key, right?
Yep, exactly. Let's see. So let me share my screen again. Sorry about that.
Wrong X.
Wrong. Yes, that was a wrong X. That was a quick. Okay, so in the meantime, so we put our app on Goerli. What I was about to do there was connect with my MetaMask and talk about how after we've been using burner wallets this whole time, and they're very good for quick prototyping. You notice all of those times we did that check-in function, we didn't get like a MetaMask prompt. We didn't get any errors about having the wrong chain ID or any of that BS you get when you use MetaMask on localhost. We just were using burner wallets. But now that we're on a public network, it's a great time to switch over to MetaMask or a more secure wallet. You'll notice that when I connect my MetaMask, Scaffold-eth is automatically going to warn the user if they're on the wrong network. And when you click Goerli, it's going to switch them over to Goerli. Just little things like that. All of that happened. Yep. Yeah. From that one thing that we changed to Goerli there. Okay. Now our app is also deployed. We just need to figure out, what is it? It's like a token cron, I think is what we're going to call this app. There we go. So with some quick tinkering, right, with burner wallets, and then we have now a real app that we've deployed. Anyone can go to tokencron.surge. Tokencron sounds like tokencron. Yeah. that wasn't exactly what I was going for, but here we are. We're tokencron.search.sh, but anybody can go to tokencron and you can go to debug contracts. We can connect our MetaMask now, and we can start token that cron. So let's go to check-in, right? Check-in is this first interaction. There we go. I'm going to check in to the Goerli. It's on Goerli. I'm making a transaction on Goerli, and that should be the first transaction to our smart contract. Now, let's quickly, before this transaction goes through, let's check my balance. It should be 0, okay? Then we're going to check my balance again after this goes through, and hopefully it will be updated to one coin, right? And Kevin, you should also be able to go to tokencron.surge.sh, and maybe you could check in on the next one or something like that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let's see if I can do it. So, by the way, who owns this contract? I'm curious.
That's a great question. Good slow pitch. There's no way I can stop this contract. There's no admin built into this. There's no deployer account that owns everything. There's an account that deployed it, but even the deployer account owns nothing. No one owns this contract. It's Ethereum's contract. It's a public good, right? From now on, there's this token that's incentivizing folks to check in. There's really nothing happening in here, but you could have something happening, right? You could have some action that happens here. And if this token maybe had some value, then there would be an incentive for folks to check in. You've got your rules written correctly. This just happens to be a quick little check-in thing. There's not, let's see. Oh, did it go through? There's not. Yes, there we go. So now I have 1 ETH. Okay. And if I try to check in again, is it, oh yeah. And it's going to say a really ugly error message that says, reverted.
That's a gnarly error message.
Yeah, this is welcome to Web3, where the error messages are this big and the little text is what you need. Really, Scaffold-eth should be better at parsing this. Hopefully in the next version of Scaffold-eth, we can get better at that. But what it's saying is we can only check in every 60 seconds. And so if I do check in again, I'm just kind of like waiting for that time left. Oh, we can even probably watch. Oh, time passed is now at 60 seconds. We're good to go. Check in. There we go. There we go. And confirm. And I should check in again, right? So we're watching this time passed. And as soon as it gets to 60 seconds, then we're allowed to check in again. and we're basically minting the supply of the token is increasing. So it's a token that I guess the value would be deflationary in a way, but the token is basically constantly minting every minute a new amount of tokens. So the total supply of the token is always going up. But if that somehow had value, it would be used to incentivize this. I don't know. It's just a random mechanic that we added in, but hopefully you can see that any knucklehead can just write these this like full on like game mechanics into these simple rules, and you can deploy this kind of like vending machine that not even you can stop, and anyone can get in here and interact with this thing. Let's see. You want to try sharing this screen and get the third?
Yeah,
I've got 2 coins already. I'm checking in. I've got my 2 coins. Yeah, token cron. Let me pass the cron to you, man.
All right, the cron has been passed. All right,
can we put Kevin on? There we are. There we
go. Okay, cool. Boom. All right, so let's see. Boom. Enter. Let's see if I'm gonna get logged out. So I was logged in already, but let's make sure I'm connected to the right MetaMask. I got my cryptomastery.eth. So now I should be able to come down here and hit the check-in button. Boom. Let's see if it works. Oh. You can only check in once per minute. Really?
Yep. So we're waiting for that 60 seconds. We really should, if we're as
we should.
I mean, I guess that proves that, like, yeah, our rules are written correctly. We're just waiting for it.
Oh, there we go.
Sweet. There we go.
Able to check in. All right. So now I can send this transaction. Confirm. Boom. Transaction started. And let's see. And then how do I go to allowance? Balance of, yeah?
Yep. You're watching balance of. It's probably 0 now. But you're waiting for that transaction
still
to go
running.
through. Yep. We're basically waiting for a block to get mined. I think it just did. Waiting for that block native
transaction
notification.
Succeeded.
Awesome. Now let's see if you earned your coin.
Balance of 1.
There we go. You've got 1 token. There we go.
Very cool.
So this is kind of what we wanted to lean into in terms of Scaffold-eth. This is a way for you to get in, go to Solidity by example, grab a mapping, paste it into your smart contract in Scaffold-eth, deploy it, tinker with it with a front end, learn how each of these concepts work, get better at each of these concepts leading up to and then taking the speed run, take on those challenges. There's video content there if the challenges are too much or you need to become a power user first. And then if you need even another layer of white glove, that's when this Growic and other kind of curriculums are a better option. You can have kind of mentor-led discussions and help around this same curriculum. But we just built it. We did it. We're done. We did it.
Yep.
Ship it. We shipped it all the way to Goerli.
Yeah, and one of the other benefits too for Growic is after you go through the whole program and you get successfully through it, you'll also get a certification as well. So that's kind of a cool thing that you can show off too as well. Yeah, so like I do want to ask one question for you, Austin. Like, what are you most excited for? Like, we just had the merge on Ethereum. What's your next kind of thing that you're excited for?
Ooh, I think I've been saying this for a long time. I was saying that like L2 summer was gonna happen. I DK if L2 summer really happened. Like where it was a bear. We're like it's down so much. We're all down bad. So I don't know if L2 summer technically happened, but I think I'm most excited about just like building things on L2s, seeing these same apps that we're deploying to Ethereum, but deployed to a faster, cheaper network. Just seeing these L2s bloom and seeing the types of applications that are now can fit in that couldn't fit in before. So just building on L2. And by the way, all of this stuff works all the same. Just like we pointed our app from localhost to Goerli, you can point it at Optimism or Polygon or anything else, and you'll have that same experience.
Yep. All right. Well, it's going to be a layer 2 winter, hopefully then.
There we go. But a good winter. Oh, a warm winter in Miami. How about that?
Yes. There we go. Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for the presentation. So talking about Miami, Dan Trail joined us. He's one of these boots on the ground, like the real grinder, the person who's bringing Solidity to the masses. Dan Trail is in charge of Web3 of Miami-Dade College, one of the biggest college actually in Miami, if not the biggest. You probably Dan Trail know. And also, this is our Dan Trail brings this Solidity not only to the academia but also to the neighborhoods of Miami. That's, I think, even more important for this underserved, underprivileged. They don't have any money or any resources. They can now go take free education in 2 months and then start building. So then, Shell, if you can just kind of maybe go over what you do, and then we're gonna wrap this up and just invite everyone, not only from Miami, but from all the world, to come to Miami, experience the culture, experience what we do, and get this hackathon going for us.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Nice to meet you, Austin, and good seeing you, Kevin. What's up, guys? Hey, I work for the college. I'm the Web3 specialist, so I actually got my job from competing in hackathons, and I actually came in non-technical, just learning and adding what I can add, and here I am taking my journey, learning Solidity, and just trying to be a better use of the community. I want to take these same tools and give it to, some people in these neighborhoods that haven't had the same advantage. Historically, Miami is like a tourism service-based city. So the jobs that were available were just the jobs that are available. But now with the influx of tech coming in, as long as you have a computer, you have opportunity and you can do whatever you want. Being able to build some of these apps, some of these projects, that just changes everything. In fact, I'm working with my students now, and we're actually trying to create a DAO to connect all of the colleges so we can break down some of these walls, share resources. Growic Solidity is going to be a major factor in that, and we're stepping out of just being a part of one college and creating a whole community so we can share these tools together, man. So we would love to have you talk to the students if you have a chance, or even when you're in town, just stop by and give the kids some words of encouragement. I think they appreciate it.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Yeah, thank you, Dentrell. And to me, this presentation is pretty much about free Solidity education, yes, but then we're talking about a hackathon, and what just Austin and Kevin showed is that Scaffold is that tool in your toolbox that allow you to build these quick prototypes, these quick MVPs. And I think that's what matters, especially for this type of events like hackathon, where you only have 3 days, and this is ideal. And that's actually what Scaffold and Speedrun Ethereum are all about. That's what we teach at Grow Solidity, which is basically instructor-led Scaffold-eth and Speedrun Ethereum. And that's exactly what we're trying to do at the hackathon. So I'm very excited about that. And thanks all for joining. I just want to kind of leave you at there is also should be a call to action after everything. So I encourage you to go to ETHMiami.net, click on apply as the student or apply as the hacker, and join us in November. I'm sure it's going to be a great event, great speakers, great mentors coming, and this event will be a success. I'm sure about that.
Yeah, I'm excited. Looking forward to it. I mean, I feel like this is going to be a great next couple of months leading up to Miami. So I'm excited to see everyone go through the process, and I can't wait to see what people build. So, and thank you, Austin, as well for coming. Really appreciate it.
Heck yeah.
Thank you, guys.
That's
Thank
a
you,
lot of
everyone.
fun.
Thank you.
Yeah. So ETHMiami.net, that's where we go for ETHMiami. And then where do we go? So to sign up for the virtual stuff that's like today is the last day, could you paste me that link so I can throw it in my Twitter too, so people see that also? And I'll paste that up too. So yeah, go sign up for the virtual stuff. If you're not in on the virtual stuff, go sign up for ETHMiami, and we'll see you in Miami, and we'll build some things together.
Okay, cool. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
No, thank you. Guys. Appreciate it.
See you guys. Bye.
Appreciate it, Andre.